What's going on, guys? I have Project Naosis Episode 5. Again, one of my absolute most favorite indie series that we have so far. And some shit definitely goes down in this one. We got a really good story ahead of us here. Um, so to kind of catch us up, uh, we have Omega, Lithium, and Thorn. They went and confronted the Prime Minister of the ULN, basically of the world, so to speak, the big leader there. They're not. Omega in particular is not a big fan of how she's using some of her team for the ULN's business and affairs, because he was under the impression that everything is controlled by him. Nothing gets done without him, and she has had Vega go out on a mission, which got their whole world exposed. People became aware of Project Naosis because of this mission, and also Hybrid got thrown into the mix on that one. So confronting her about that, as well as using Prince Euro to kind of do some PR since they've all been exposed. They've had him put like a spin on it since he's one of the world leaders, as well as one of the you know people in Project Naosis. And since he's recovered from the events of issue 1, he's been going around and speaking on their behalf and basically bolstering them and saying, oh, yeah, they're good for the world. And so, yeah, he didn't take kindly to all that and was confronting. Now, nothing really got resolved there. They basically said, hey, why don't we just, or more or less the prime minister said, I'm just going to kind of forget that this happened. You're in my world. I'm the one who says what happens here. But they basically just kind of left it at that. And then we see the prime minister speak to Prince Euro about how maybe it's about time to start moving on, that Omega's getting a little too full of himself and might have to start cutting ties with him. And so I don't believe that Prince Euro is 100% against Omega. I still feel like he is going to kind of relay all of this to Omega. And I have nothing to base that on. That is just me speculating and kind of hoping. I like Prince Hero. I'd hate for him to become a villain of any kind. So that's what's going on with him. They later went on, just kind of killed a bunch of Pain Patriots to kind of blow off some steam. So that's what they're up to. Meanwhile, we had Hellkate with Hybrid go on a mission just to kind of scout and see what's going on with some Pain Patriots. They managed to see that Banshee had survived and were given the go-ahead by Omega to go ahead and engage. This meant that the duo was then going to split up because the shipment that they were trying to scout around for, that took off, so Hybrid went after that. Meanwhile, Hellkate stayed with Banshee. Now, Hybrid catches up, and we see that another enhanced individual by the name of Voltage beat him to it. And he knocked out the driver of the vehicle, but then Hybrid kills that driver. And now there's a conflict between Voltage and Hybrid, because Voltage was really offended that Hybrid would just blatantly kill somebody like that, whereas Voltage wanted to turn him over to the authorities. And so that's basically what we're catching up with. Oh, and Vega also is overwatching Hybrid and calls it into the Prime Minister. So that is what we had in the previous issue, and so we're going to continue on here. So we have Episode 5, The Return of Crimson Pain, and Paul Thayer is our writer. Samuel Marquise is our artist. So we have Hellkate right here. She's looking pretty beat up, and Banshee is she's a monster. And she's explaining as she continues beating on Hellkate that she's welcomed all of the cybernetic enhancements and just allowed it to make her just an absolute killing machine. Now you see she licks Hellcate's arm right here, as creepy as she is, before she straight up rips it off. And so Hellcate is now down an arm. And so it's looking really, really grim for Hellcate here. Meanwhile, we catch up with Omega, Thorn, and Lithium as they are presumably going to go assist with Hybrid and Hellcate. Because that is the discussion that they're having about Banshee returning and all that. So I'm assuming that that's where they're going. It's not exactly clear, and that's fine. They start getting shot at and realize that there is a shit ton of enemies around them. And they figure out the group shooting at them is none other than Crimson himself, along with a whole shit ton of other Crimson Patriots. Pain and Omega are exchanging the "I'm gonna fucking kill you" lines, and a chase then ensues. We then catch up with Hybrid and Voltage. They're having an all-out fight. Hybrid does get the better of Voltage, and he goes to grab his gun and put an end to Voltage, but then the city folk come to Voltage's aid and says, hey, back off, you fucking horrible monster, what are you doing? And not only that, but we get the introduction of Imperium, who is Voltage's partner as far as crime fighting, and it looks to be his mentor, because, he kind of refers to Voltage as a kid, and Voltage kind of gives him a lot more information and kind of filling in the gaps of what he might have missed out on. So it looks like this is like a mentor for Voltage. I'm not 100% certain. We're just now getting more information on him at this point. So, the three fight, and once again, Hybrid gets the upper hand. He grabs his big all-powerful gun before it gets shot out of his hand, and it looks like it was Vega who shot it out. Her gun's right here, so it's safe to presume that she's the one that interfered and shot the gun in half and all that. Hybrid's just like, what are you doing? And she's like, what are you doing? You're out here about to kill civilians. And he retorts, no, these aren't civilians. These are enhanced who are getting in my way. My mission is to stop this shipment, otherwise more will die. And, she says, we're supposed to be the heroes here. And Hybrid scoffs at the idea of them being heroes. He's like, that path is gone. We're trying to play heroes gets you killed. You should know that by now. And she then tells him, look around you. The world is watching. How do you want to be perceived? And for which Hybrid's quiet at this point. She then turns to the heroic duo over here and, basically apologizes, introduces herself. She's like, I'm Valerie Vega of the ULN, and, I'm sorry. Hybrid then takes this moment. He's like, okay, well, I'll let you and the ULN handle this. I'm going to go back up Hellcate. And so he runs off. And she basically is kind of like apologizing some more and says, but you should be leaving this area. This is under our jurisdiction now. Why don't you leave with the rest of the civilians? And then she goes ahead and leaves. And then Voltage and Imperium, they're kind of talking over everything, and it's like, well, I guess the ULN does in fact have the enhanced team going around killing bad guys, as the media said. And then they also decide to go ahead and just let that be, since it's under government control, and they also exit. We then catch up with Omega and company. And so the plan is to take their ship and basically go as vertical as they can, and then open up the cargo and drop down on Crimson, kind of get a jump on him. Thorn accompanies Omega on this, and we see Crimson. He's ready for it. He's like, oh, good. I don't want to have to chase you down. Let's fight. Let's do this shit. So they land on the ship of Payne's there and realize he's not there. But then he springs up. He's like, oh, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this thing. So, where was Pain at this point? Now, I looked. I'm not seeing Pain escaping anywhere here. So the only thing that makes any kind of sense to me, given what we know about Pain, and we see like a little arc, so it kind of looks like he came from underneath the ship. So maybe there was some sort of escape hatch underneath where he got out. We don't know Pain to really do like any kind of ambush. He's pretty blunt about his attacks. He'll come straight at you. He doesn't care. He'll announce it to you that he's coming to you. He's basically looking for the challenge. So I don't think he's trying any kind of ambush approach. I think it was just simply he came out from underneath, and then that was that. Because I don't think he like leapt onto one of the Pain Patriot ships and then just jumped back over to surprise attack. I think it was just that's what it was. Not entirely certain. That's just all in my noggin here. So Thorn is the first one to take a crack at Pain, and we do see that he does inflict a little bit of damage. He takes a little bit of the armor and causes even a little bit of a flesh wound there. And the fight continues, and they eventually drop down off of Pain's ship and land into the water and fight on some wreckage. Now, Omega and Thorn, they're trying to devise a plan of attack here, and you know, they seem to have everything ready, except for they are not accounting for Pain's speed. Thorn is trying to hit him. He can't land a shot. And you see just Pain is just all over the place. And he gets right in and blasts them both. So he's already on him. But then, poor Thorn also gets a blast in the face. And Thorn is my favorite of all of Project Naosis. I love his attitude, I love what he can do, and the fact that he is both loyal and takes pleasure in his job. Like, he really enjoys what he does. And I've really enjoyed him being in this. And so when I saw this for the first time, I'm like, oh shit, man, are we really about to lose Thorn? And so we do see that he survives. He is behind Pain over here. He's just doubled over. He's not dead. And so now it's just Omega and Pain, right? Showdown of the leaders. But then Lithium comes over and gives his brother a little assist. So now it's the three. And, you know, this really doesn't slow down Pain too much. We see throws Lithium into Omega. The two brothers are getting ready. And, you know, at this point, they're having a little exchange of words. You know, they're both calling him a psycho, and he's explaining to him, he's like, yeah, I used to be a nice little puppet just like you guys, and then my government turned on me and tried to kill me. They killed all of my team. They didn't get me. And, you know, I used to be blind to everything, and he then, you know, goes, here, let me open your eyes. He punches Omega out of the way, and now he's right underneath Lithium, and drives his fist right through Lithium. Like, this is grim. And this is, if you've been keeping up with my reviews, I've been expecting either Omega or Lithium to die. So when I saw this, I'm like, oh shit, I hate being right. And he throws Lithium right into the water. We don't see him again. Again, we are playing with the thing, like, we didn't get a confirm kill, and we've seen some pretty horrific things being survived. This is a pretty rough one here, but, you know, it's always the thing. If you didn't see him die, they're probably still alive, right? We see him get thrown into the water, and then that's it. So, who knows? So, now it's just Omega, but he is quickly beaten as well. We see a quick punch to the face, and we know that Pain's got those, like, spike gauntlets going, so that fucks him up pretty good. Gets blasted for his trouble, and while he's blasting Omega, he's dropping a little bomb, and he runs off while everything explodes. So, yeah, even even a 2-on-1. It never got to be 3-on-1, but a 2-on-1 just that's just not enough to take on Payne. He is the real deal. We catch back up with Hellcat and Banshee, and yeah, Hellcate's it's looking like she's ready to punch out right now. She's looking worse for wear, even worse than before. She's bleeding everywhere, and Banshee's looking to come and do some more damage. It doesn't look like she wants to outright kill her quite yet. She's enjoying what she's doing. She's a vicious monster. But Hybrid comes to her to Hellcate's aid and shoots Banshee, at least for the moment disabling her. He's calling in for, an evac on Hellcate. It's like, hey, we got somebody bleeding out. We really need some help. And Hellcate's like, I'll be fine. Go kill her. And so he's like, okay, I'll make sure she's dead this time. And just as he goes over, we see Payne is now here. And we're getting ready to see Hybrid and Payne take on a fight. But then an aerial strike comes in and stops the match. Payne grabs Banshee and fucks right off. And it's like, you may have won this battle, but the war is, far from over. And here is probably my biggest issue in all of this. So this is an aerial attack in support of Project Naosis. All right, this is what stops the fight. And he even regards it as, his support. But then, where is everybody? That doesn't make any sense, because this is all of Payne's guys, right? We saw them earlier. When we first see Payne attack. It's all the same. A-looking ships here. And then we see them releasing all the gas. Because that is the next thing, Payne's like, go ahead and release the gas. So they're gassing up the city, and it's killing all the civilians. And now Hybrid's out here. He is pleading for anybody to, to copy, hear him. And it's like, we got civilians being killed. Does anybody out there hear me? We need help. We need support. And we catch up with Omega, and he's just like, I hear you, Hybrid. I'm beat up. I got internal bleeding. I also need an evac. And then he reaches the beach, and he is not ready for what he just saw. And what he's seeing is all of the people on the beach. They're dead. And what he says here is, I have failed. So he's not feeling really good. He got his ass beat. His team got their ass beat. And lots of people are dying now, all because he didn't do his job. And we've seen in the previous issues, this is already starting to kind of eat at Omega, the whole thing with being controlled by the ULN and Payne just out there. He felt ready to take him on. He was ready to go, and then just be so quickly and so easily beaten. That's going to do a number on him mentally. And so, yeah, that's where we end. And, man, what a great issue. It is a depressing one. You watch the heroes that you've been rooting for just get absolutely wiped out. Like, the only one who really kind of comes out of this unscathed is Hybrid. And I don't know if we know everything that's happened with the gas here. Let me go back to that. So this gas is taking over. It's killing all the civilians. Maybe the enhanced will be fine, but then we have people like Vega out there. She's got no powers. Now, perhaps there's a filtration with her mask that might keep her alive. But, we don't know what's going to become of Voltage and Imperium. Maybe because they're enhanced, they might be okay. I'm not entirely certain. But, yeah, Payne is a menace. He is a force to be reckoned with. And this is this is definitely a victory for him in this issue, because even with people like Omega, Thorn looks to still be alive. Lithium, don't know, but pretty much this whole team's going to be in a pod trying to recuperate. You got, as far as the team is concerned, we have Hybrid still good, Vega if she's survived all of this, and Prince Euro, assuming that he is ready for action after being basically crushed by Rifter back in issue 1. So our team is, they're definitely very, very beat up. And, that's just, it didn't fail to live up to expectations, right? We've seen Pain go through and just wipe out hero after hero and, all sorts of issues. And it would have been a little bit of a letdown if he just immediately got his ass beat by Project Naosis. I'm glad that we went this route, even though might have had to say goodbye to a character or two. We'll see in the next issue if that is the case. My gut feeling is Lithium is fine. Obviously not fine. He's got a big fucking hole in his chest, but he's going to survive. I think that this is going to play more of an issue mentally for Omega. This might really start, doing the, turning Omega to the dark side, so to speak. Maybe he gets a little crazy. We'll see. I don't think he'll be as nuts as Pain. I don't think he's going to join Pain either. I could see a route where that could take place, but I don't think that that's what we're doing. But yeah, this is a very good issue. I'd give it at least a 9 out of 10. Very engaging. We do need to kind of explain what the hell happened with that aerial attack. My biggest and easiest way to kind of answer that in my own head is just like, okay, it wasn't actually like jet fire. It was like some sort of satellite, home, space defense system kind of thing where they can just blow something out of the sky from way up high. Because that would explain the lack of any kind of engagement from, Crimson Pain's, like, his fleet that he has, as well as, where is the fire there. So we'll see what happens if that gets explained. But right now, that would be the biggest flaw that I see. But yeah, I very much recommend this series and all of the one-offs, the Omegas and the Pains. Checking all of those out, and you can find that in the description as to where you can get a copy for yourself. But that is all I have for today, guys. So until next time, take care and God bless.